Welcome to our video introducing a planner chart that you can use to effectively manage your week. This resource includes templates that you can copy and customize as you plan for the upcoming days. The chart and suggestions that we're sharing are by no means a comprehensive list, and we encourage you to make changes to your own version as you see fit, or use the template as a jumping off point to discover what works best for you. While we have provided you here with a template, keep in mind that this work can take some trial and error, during which you might explore what you need in a planner, as well as what might not be as useful for you. Things to keep in mind when selecting a planning tool might include how you want to split up your days, for example, by the hour or by specific tasks, as well as the priority of the different things that you need to get done. This is the main template that we'll be working with throughout this video. Think of it as the ultimate chart. This has everything from overarching weekly goals, a place to input your schedule each day, as well as a space for reflection. We'll be using this chart to discuss how different sections can be used and what needs they best serve. It's likely that you might find some sections of the chart more useful than others, but the important thing is that you can pinpoint what you need from this resource so that you can customize and use it to your own benefit. Let's zoom into the chart and go through the sections from top to bottom. At the beginning, you'll see a space to put in the specific days of the week, as well as to list out the main goals that you'll have throughout these days. We've listed space for 3 goals here. This is to get you thinking about what goals you really want and need to prioritize, so that you can then realistically plan for how you will achieve those in the time that you have. This is where you can start thinking about the broader goals for the week, and later on in the template, you'll have space to break these down into smaller and more actionable tasks throughout each day. Here is an example of the filled out goals section. You can see that this person has listed their 3 goals, as well as very minimal notes on what this could look like. For example, to get to their goal of getting a 90% on their history tests, they want to study for about 20 to 30 minutes every day. These little notes can serve as a reminder for more detailed scheduling later on in the chart. Additionally, this person has added a bonus goal and some notes that might not necessarily be a priority goal, but is still something that they would like to keep in mind for the week. The next section of this chart covers making a schedule for each day. You might already have a separate schedule or planner that you use to plan out your days. In that case, you might not feel the need to go into as much detail in this section of the chart. However, there's still an opportunity to log the most important tasks and obligations that you have. If you're a student, you might not need to write down each class of the day, especially if you're already using another planner or a calendar. Instead, you might find yourself logging down any after-school commitments such as tutoring, a club meeting, or plans with friends. In this sample schedule, you can see that this student has logged her coaching session, chores, and due dates of assignments. So this person is using this section as a checklist to keep track of specific one-time things that need to get done throughout the week. They've also used a color coding system to differentiate between coaching and tutor-related obligations, school tests and assignments, and social plans. Moving down in the chart, you'll see a section for your tasks and priorities. This is an opportunity to get into even more detail about what you need to get done. Use your knowledge of your time throughout the week as a whole to help you prioritize smaller tasks and obligations. We're challenging you to think even more about prioritization here. It's tempting to feel like everything needs to get done as soon as possible, but that can lead to an overload of tasks and feeling as though you're falling behind. On the other hand, it's also tempting to think that certain tasks can be pushed off until the last minute or until the end of the week. This results in tasks building up and you scrambling to meet all the deadlines. By separating tasks into must-do, intend-to-do, and bonus categories, we're asking you to look at what you need to get done alongside how much time you realistically have during the week. You can also spread out certain tasks depending on how much time you feel you need to spend on them. A one-time errand is very different from studying for a big exam or working on a week-long project, and you'll need to plan accordingly. Additionally, if you find yourself unable to complete a task on a given day, you can consult this section to see when the next best day would be for you to reprioritize and continue working on it. So as you can see here in the sample, this person has a variety of tasks, mostly school related, that they have prioritized, written down, and checked off. They've also used this section as an opportunity to write down mini reflections in italics under each task. For example, you can see that for Monday, they were able to complete their math worksheet and review their history Quizlet, but they noted that math took longer than expected and that they did not follow through with independent studying for history. So this acknowledges that the tasks were done, and also that there's always room for reflection around and potential improvement for the next time around. They also have a short story assignment that they have intended to work on this week, and you can see their progress throughout the days. The pre-work and post-work check-ins are short but effective ways of reflecting on how you're feeling at the beginning and at the end of each day or work session. Being in touch with your focus levels and your emotions can help you to contextualize your ability to get things done. For example, you might notice that you're not feeling very focused at the beginning of a work session, and this can lead you to rethink your plans and move things around if possible. If anything, you can also plan to start out with smaller, easier tasks before moving on to the bigger ones if you need to build up momentum for yourself. Taking time to do a post-work reflection can also help to set a record of how you feel throughout the days. It can be a boost to see that you were productive, even if you started out the day not feeling very focused. As always, it's possible to add some extra notes to contextualize and reflect on how you were doing. You can see that this person has added that they got distracted online and as a result didn't feel as productive on Monday. They also acknowledge that studying with friends turned out to be helpful and helped them to feel productive even though they were unfocused at the beginning of their work. Continuing on the topic of reflection, we're coming to a weekly review at the end of this chart. Here you can jot down your successes, setbacks, and takeaways, as well as put brief notes on what is coming up next week. For example, say that you were sick for most of the week and you didn't get to do everything that you had planned. However, even if you manage to tackle just one assignment or make progress on a project, that can still be a success in the context of you not feeling well. On the other hand, you can also log obstacles that you come across. If you're using this chart every week, you'll soon be able to reflect on any patterns in terms of what is setting you back. This would be helpful to discuss with a coach so that you can plan to work on overcoming these obstacles with support along the way. Here we have a filled out sample of the weekly review. It's important to be non-judgmental but honest with yourself here, while also knowing that your setbacks do not define your productivity or worth. Instead, you can look at this review as more information that can help propel you forward in the long run. Finally, here is the entire weekly planner chart on one page, all filled out. The digital version of this chart can be edited and customized to your liking. You can use the chart in its entirety, and you can also add, delete, or change sections as needed. So we went through this entire chart in this video, breaking down different sections so that you can hopefully get an idea of which ones would be most relevant to your needs right now. In the next slide, I'll go over some ways that this chart can be modified. So here is an example of how the chart can be customized according to your own preferences and needs. You can see that the must do, intend to do, and bonus categories are kept here, but there is an added element of keeping track of time. This is useful for someone who might want to notice how they're using their time and if their time estimates are actually accurate. The time estimates can be viewed as another mode of reflection, since this chart doesn't have a separate section for a post-work reflection or a weekly review. So depending on the particular skill that you want to hone or what you want to reflect on, you can tweak the weekly planner chart as you see fit. Someone like a coach can be a useful external party to help you discuss what you want to work on and what you should prioritize in these charts. By being aware of your limits and abilities, you can really start to customize your days and your workflow in a way that is sustainable and productive. So this video went over different ways that you can create a visual schedule and plan for your week. For other types of planners, especially those catered to an academic environment, check out our videos on study planning and project planning. Additionally, head over to our website for more resources and information about coaching, as well as upcoming events and programs.